Welcome back to the Tuscan Urban Farmstead. This is the Inglorious shower box corner, which we have turned into our very own dunghill. Well, we're not using dung here. This is simply the waste from the kitchen. No meats go into this. It's only vegetable based. Vegetable, fruit, nut, walnuts, shells, old leaves and branches from the other plants. I somehow always remember to go live once I've already done the heavy lifting. So practically this is briefly, once again, for those of you who I haven't spoken about this process yet. It all started by accident more because I was so sick I couldn't manage to get up on time to leave the kitchen waste, or any waste for that matter, out on the street on the assigned days. That's the system here in Italy. Every day you have to leave it out the door and they will come and collect it allegedly around 6 a.m. Then they come earlier, they come later, whatever. So somehow I was just never managing to get it done on time. So I had to find a way to store it up, and then I started planting my seeds, and so it turned into my own little Tuscan urban farmstead. That's how the whole thing started, actually. So this, I had to bring it indoors as soon as I knew that they were going to be assigning the apartment across the hallway from me to someone else. This was before out in the hallway, and it's done so cleverly that you cannot smell it. Practically, the yellow bin stays indoors. The orange one, excuse me, stays in the house with me, and I fill it up gradually. Then from there, it goes into the other bin. It's an airtight bin. And you're going to say, hey, Amber, but if it's airtight, then it's not breathing, and then there's no decomposition happening. Trust me, there is decomposition happening, especially since you're constantly opening it up to let the stuff from the other bin into it, right? So you want to keep that one as clean as possible. And yeah, I haven't been dusting much recently, I must admit. It's been chaos. That said, and then from there, when that is full and it's been sitting there for quite a while and there's no more place to be emptying the orange bin into it, it all goes over into this big compost, indoor compost tub. And what you see on the top, that's all the older compost from before. It was pretty much down to where you're seeing that hole in the bucket, in the bucket, in the bucket. There's a hole in my bucket. Oh gosh, whatever. So it was practically down to there because I had already taken out most of the compost from last year and used it outside. And so today we shoveled out the rest and put it into these four pots here for the first part, so that the bottom was completely empty. It only had a little bit of the water left, the dirty water left. Then we dumped everything in and we filled it, everything from these two bins, we dumped it all in there. And we covered it off with this part, which no longer stinks, which is how I managed to not let the rest of the whole apartment building realize what's going on in the secrecy of this lab in the bathroom, in the shower. There is no hot water to begin with. I wash piece by piece anyways. This is pretty much this big flower bed, this larger flower pot. This is a rectangular one. It has pretty much become home to a whole colony of ringworms. And every so often one of them manages to escape, and I find it somewhere in the bathroom. But it's pretty much like this is what your garden shed would look like. And yeah, that's where I'm doing the wool, and that's where I'm doing the other stuff. So I just emptied those in there too with the kitchen scraps. And so yes, and so this is now going to be decomposting. Well, composting over the summertime. And we won't really be filling it up very much. I mean, we won't be filling the white bin there very much between here and the end of the summer. Being completely alone and not usually wasting that much of my food, as in when I'm preparing the food, I'm not wasting it too much. I've also stopped buying stuff if I'm not sure I'm going to manage to eat it. So that being the case, it'll probably be August, September, or even October before we repeat this process once more. Meanwhile, if I need to do any more gardening, I'll go out and pick and get soil from out in the wild, which means there's going to be more ringworms, yay! And they will go into these two large rectangular ones and or the smaller ones. So that is all for now from the Tuscan Urban Farmstead, and talk soon. Ciao for now.